All right, in this video, what I want to talk about is something really short and sweet and to the point, which is setbacks being necessary for success. I was on a walk this morning and I was thinking about just some different things I'm trying to achieve right now with life and with business, and thinking about perceived setbacks. And I always find myself when I perceive a setback that might be in close proximity to me, or might be in the near future, and I can see it coming. I subconsciously I always want to avoid it, right? I don't remember where I read this, but it was maybe 2 years ago in a book, and it was talking about the fact that setbacks are necessary for long-term success. And that thought came back into my mind, and I think that that has been one of the most powerful beliefs that has served me, because every time now I see a setback, I'm like, oh, it's a chance to prove to myself all the reasons why I can do this. It's a chance to prove to myself, to accumulate more evidence of why I can do this, right? Because a setback is a setback, and everyone has them, and anyone that's successful or non-successful doesn't have any more or less typically. It's just how we respond to them, right? And so each setback is a chance for you to respond in a way that shows yourself and proves to yourself that you can actually do this, right? And so now I've trained myself to really think like, I'm gonna actually be excited for the setbacks. I'm gonna be excited for the adversity, because this is how I prove to myself. It's like in your mind, right? When you set a goal, you typically put all these like perfect conditions around the goal. It's like, well, in order to achieve this goal, I'm going to need to do all these 7 things, and I'm going to have these perfect circumstances. But then we all know that that's not actually how it goes in reality. Like, there are no perfect circumstances. And so we know this subconsciously, yet we hope for perfect circumstances. And so now what I've realized is like, I should hope for imperfect circumstances. In fact, I should seek out imperfect circumstances faster, because if I do so, I will cement that new belief in my mind that I'm capable of doing this much faster than if not. Right? And so like a good example would be weight loss, right? Most people, when they're trying to lose weight, they go ahead and they're like, I'm going to avoid eating out. I'm going to avoid going and doing things with friends. They're going to avoid doing all of these things. They're going to avoid traveling, all this stuff, right? But like, what if you said, instead of avoiding all those things, you're like, I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to eat out every day, and I'm going to see my friends 3 times a week, and I'm going to travel and go to a different country, right? All whilst losing weight. Well, then, like, how much more confident do you think you would be in your ability to lose weight if you just quickly face those adverse circumstances willingly, right? And I think a lot of us can wait until those circumstances come to us, and then we can try and, it's usually like a slight anxiousness and then acceptance, and then we overcome them. But what if you were to seek them out, right? Because if short-term setbacks are what create long-term success, then why would you not seek them out to then create the long-term success and the immunity to feeling that way ever again faster, right? Like, if you want to lose weight and lose it forever, then you want to seek out all of those situations, like the worst of them. If you're like, I can't handle, losing weight and not eating cake, then like you should put yourself in a room with all of the cake, right? It's just exposing yourself. And so that's what I found works for me, whether it's in business. I think a really good example of it is like having hard conversations. Like, if you haven't had a lot of them, go ahead and line them up. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, but I get so nervous, and I like can't sleep the night before, and I'm sweating, and I'm anxious, and like I just sound like an idiot. And it's like, cool, then do 7 in a row and see how you feel, right? And do them with the people who make you even the most nervous. I think another example of that in business would be something to the extent of, maybe presenting in front of people. I had a great director who was really great at her job, but she was terrible at presenting. And so I was like, cool, we're just going to do one presentation every 2 to 3 weeks until you get great at it. She was like, why would I do that? And I was like, why would you practice but not then set yourself up to learn faster, fail faster, and then accumulate the skill faster? And so I think it kind of goes with that, understanding that in order to have those setbacks, to create the long-term success, you have to be willing to suck, right? But then you suck a little less every time, and you start gaining this confidence. And the reason that you gain confidence is because you gain evidence of your ability to overcome short-term adversity to attain that long-term success. I hope that's useful for you. I was just thinking about it in context with a lot of goals that I've been setting for myself lately, in the context of seeking out challenges in accordance with my goals so that I can prove to myself faster that I can do what I'm setting out to do. And so it's purposely making yourself uncomfortable, so that you can have that satisfaction and that confidence at a faster rate than anybody else. So if you like this video, go ahead, hit subscribe. I will see you on the next one.